I swear to God, some of you guys, I haven't lost, or some of you guys haven't lost a beat. Philip Stroh, or no, Go Viral. I guess just didn't read. I don't know. Didn't read the title. We're reacting to Tesla Netflix earnings, and then just maybe it's a joke. Maybe it's a joke. Well, it made me laugh nevertheless. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and I'm back, baby. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and I made it my mission to help you guys own it. Sometimes you help me own it, and that's what's great about this channel. But, man, it's good to see some familiar faces. What's up, Jeff Chow, Duke, Fernando, Michael, Karthik K, housekeeping. Oh, yeah, some really good familiar faces. Lord Fenrir, of course, says Tesla, Netflix, both not looking great. They're not at the moment. We'll see what happens after earnings today. But yes, Netflix and Tesla are going to be reporting earnings today. We're here to react to them live. There's also a couple other stocks that are going to be reporting this afternoon too. It might pique your interest. Las Vegas Sands, Alcoa, Discover, a couple other ones. And then there's some ones that I'm going to kind of give my thoughts on that I'll be reporting tomorrow pre-markets. We'll have AT&T, American Airlines, Taiwan Semi, Nokia, Union Pacific. So some ones to watch for tomorrow as well. And I'll be, speaking of tomorrow, I'll be live tomorrow as well, again at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. CSX will be reporting WD-40, if anybody cares, and a few other ones. So we're just getting in the beginning, right, of earnings season. And I feel good. I feel energized. Like this is a great time to kind of start things back up. And so next week, it's going to be all the heavy hitters, right? Apple, Amazon, Meta. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to kind of get back into the swing of things, especially getting, hearing from the third quarter, and we're getting into the fourth quarter now. So, or we are in the fourth quarter. So, man, it feels good. It feels good to be back. I feel like it's a good time to do so. And man, it's so good to see you guys returning as well. I thought, I got to be honest. I thought that coming back, it was just going to be slow going. So I was going to have like a couple of people, but man, we already got 36 people chilling in the chat. You guys are amazing. So taking a look at the markets overall, it is not great. S&P is down 1.5%, down 64 points. The Dow's down 362. Nasdaq's also down nearly 2%. Russell is down 2%. Crude oil still hanging around that $90 area. It's sitting at 88.39 per barrel. We also have, where is Bitcoin? Had that crazy spike earlier in the week. That was wild. That's out back down though. It came back down to earth on some fake news. The big thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into Tesla and Netflix earnings and what we're expecting there is the yields. The 10-year bond is sitting at 4.9%. I think we're getting close to a potential peak on the yields. And I put this, if you guys caught the email today, I had said the equity market in the U.S. is showing signs of rallying back to the highs of July 2023. And I'll show you the chart in just a minute to show you what I mean. Despite yields going up, the financials, small caps and transports are displaying a lot of resilience. And if you caught the stock that I'm watching next week that also has earnings, it's Caterpillar. I think the industrials are certainly a sector to watch for, but how can you not like Caterpillar out of that sector? I would say keep an eye on the S&P. A move over 44.35 could signal a rally to new highs before potential short-term peak in November. So this is a short-term tactical type of play. I would say watch the S&P. I think that we could see a nice little ramp up, especially as we're getting in the earnings. But November could be a little bit dicey. We'll get into reasons as to why later. But for now, I'm still bullish on October. We'll see what happens getting into next month. But what you guys have all been waiting for, let's go see what Tesla is up to, and we can start chatting about that. So here's Tesla right now. This is what Don from the Don Fran show, you guys know Don, well, he and I are still working together. We're actually getting ready to carry out something really special through a new company that we've created with some folks called TradeStream. If you guys saw that in the email, it might sound familiar to you, but TradeStream is a new company that we are building together, and it's going to be awesome. Can't give away too many things right now, but I just want to tell you that it's going to be great. And I'm looking forward to what TradeStream is going to be able to offer you guys and what it's going to do for us. You guys have been rooting us on and wanting us to really kind of do well. And we want to do well, obviously. So I'm super pumped. Let's go ahead and check out this, though. You can see this wedge that Tesla's been developing on the daily chart. And, it's down around 5% today. Pretty decent move down here, sitting right at this zone. Let's zoom in on that. Whoops. So here's that zone here, sitting at the bottom of this zone, or the top of the zone, I should say. So we'll see where that goes after the bell. But expectations here on Tesla, estimated earnings per share are expected to come in at 73 cents, $24.14 billion in revenue. As we all know, the EV space has been bananas. Tesla's obviously at the forefront of that. Nobody's even close to catching up to them. Here's the thing. Last time they came in and beat earnings pretty handily. Their growth is at 40% year over year as far as revenue is concerned. Upward revisions 2 to 21 down. That to me always kind of like gives me some sort of contrarian indicator in that, like, all right, well, if everybody's zigging, maybe we should zag, right? So I think that, while Tesla's having a down day and we've kind of seen this downtrend here, there could be some potential, and maybe it comes in these earnings. We'll have to wait and see. It's trading at 75 times next year's earnings, so that forward PE is sky high. But as I said, they're growing at 40% year over year, so the premium there kind of justifies that lofty valuation. I think that this is going to be fun. So put in the comments, do they beat earnings? Last couple of times they did, and last time around they actually crushed it. So super pumped for Tesla investors at the opportunity here. Are you guys buying into the earnings report here? Are you going to wait till after earnings? Let me know. And then next, we'll have Netflix. Let's pull up that chart. This will be interesting, right? Because of the strikes that have been going on. Has this finally caught up with Netflix? You can see that Netflix has not been doing all that hot. It's been pretty bad. You can see that it's actually broken below this zone in that 348 area, trading at 345.86 today. It's down another 3%, but my God, pretty tough correction there on Netflix. And a lot of this does have to do with the writer strike and what have you. But it's pretty oversold right now. So I think risk reward wise makes sense. If you were looking to take a flyer on earnings today and you're kind of going back and forth between Tesla and Netflix, if I was going to be a buyer of either of these, it would be Netflix. If I was going to make an earnings play today, it would be Netflix, just because risk reward, if nothing else. Tesla's an absolute monster. It's going to go up no matter what in the long term. But if you're looking to make a short-term play, I would say Netflix just makes a ton of sense. As I mentioned, is oversold pretty handily, and we'll see what their earnings have to show for us. The expectation is $3.49 a share, 24 upward revisions to 3 down. And as I just mentioned, Tesla was kind of the opposite of that. But I'd have to agree with Wall Street analysts here just because of how oversold this is. It just feels as if it's very attractive based off of price action here. Year to date, it's still up quite a bit, outperforming the S&P 500. It's up 17%. Forward PE has come down a lot, and so that's why I'm saying it's actually come to an attractive valuation, and it's oversold. It's trading at 29 times next year's earnings, and we'll see. Ever since they stopped talking about their subscriber growth, I feel like it's only been good for Netflix. Revenue growth forward is expected at 9% year over year. So that's not bad given the valuation there. EBITDA is also at 10%. So I like I said, if I was somebody, maybe you're that person trying to figure out, should I take a flyer? Should I take a trade on Tesla or Netflix? I'm feeling lucky. I'm going to trade. And let's go to the 5-minute chart so we can see this in real time as we're getting closer to the close. If I am looking to make a trade on earnings, I know how risky they are. I don't care. I just want to make a trade. If I'm looking at either one of these, I'm going after Netflix. And I don't even think it's that hard of a decision just because of how oversold this is. So I would even make the argument that if Netflix comes in and their earnings aren't even that great, but they're better than what people were expecting, everybody's kind of expecting Netflix to have a bad report. But if it's not as bad, even if it is not as bad as what people were expecting, this could probably still go up. A lot of people talk about this. It's like, well, they came out with a bad report. Why are they going up? Well, a lot of times it's because the sentiment is so bad that it ends up being good, even if they come in with a bad report, because it's like, well, it's not as bad as it could have been. Lord Fenner says short term both. He said that last time I was on air. We talked about this with Apple, and Apple went bananas after Lord Fenner. I think Don also shorted Apple. I think it was what Q1 report. They reported Q1. We'll see, my man. Josh Schuler, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. I see a lot of welcome backs. Thanks. I'm really humbled by a lot of you guys. You guys are great. When will the results come? They'll be coming here. I believe Netflix typically will report right after the bell. Tesla usually a little bit after that. Michael Hanna says, I was checking on your channel every week to see if you were back. I appreciate you, Michael Hanna. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Let's see here. Great to see you back. I had one back call. I'm not letting it go. This is my special. Yeah, man. Earnings are my thing. And you know what's crazy? It's still crazy to me that nobody really covers earnings. And this isn't me patting myself on the back, but like, I don't have a whole lot of competition when it comes to covering earnings on YouTube. Like, there isn't a whole lot of people that just straight up cover earnings, live on YouTube. So that's why I'm just going to keep running with it. I love talking about earnings. I love being able to talk to you guys about earnings. Reacting to them is always fun because you just never know. And then when it happens, it's just like, oh my God. So I'm pumped for it. Thanks, Josh. Josh said, thought I was going to have to watch Meet Kevin stream. Yeah. Meet Kevin. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you guys. So you don't have to put up with Meet Kevin anymore. Appreciate you. Go viral. Ariane Pastali, you should rename the channel Own Your Earnings. I really feel like that's a good call. Maybe it should be like earnings related. Okay, Mr. Ford is worth $25. It did get to $25, just to be clear. I did make money on Ford when it went to $25 or 24 or whatever. 24 some change. And it went from 10. All right. That's not a good example. There's way better examples of ones that I fucked up on. That's a very good point, Jeff. That's a very good point. Still slow moving here as far as price action is concerned on Netflix. You're looking at the 5-minute chart here. Let's we can zoom in a little bit more as we're awaiting earnings here. We got about 30 seconds to go, give or take. Oh yeah, for sure, Lord Fender, for sure. And that goes both ways, my man. That goes both ways. But I'd be remiss. I mean, Ford is like not a great example. Drive Shack's a great example. Does Drive Shack even still be? It is. It's over the counter now, but got delisted. Drive Shack was, that was a tough pill to swallow. Josh Schuler said the market's got cream today. Yeah, pretty decent move down. It feels like the top. Oh, there goes Netflix. There goes Netflix. All right, it is holy shit balls. I won't say a word, Lord Fenrir. Or did I already say it? Oh, yes. And then it all got sold off. I'm just messing with you. Let's see. So obviously those earnings are out. Let's go ahead and see if we can find them. just as a recap, the expectation for Netflix earnings was 349, and revenue was expected. They didn't have revenue forecasted here. Seeking Alpha usually has that. That's weird. I must have missed that somewhere. Last time around, they came in at 8.19 billion. So I guess we'll see what the growth they have. But yeah, right now, Netflix is shot up. It's now up over 6.25%. God damn, still going. Still going. All right, so let's see what those numbers are. Let's see if I can pull that up. I can find that for you guys. It is moving. Okay. Nothing yet, but it popped. It popped big time. Here we go again. Come on. Paid net change 8.76 million. The estimate was 6.2. So that is. Oh, wow. So here we go. Here's one stat. I don't have them all yet, but here's the Q3 streaming net, the paid. So if you guys recall, this year you can now, pay to have no ads or vice versa. That was up by 8.7 million, and the expectation was 6.2. Expected earnings per share was again 373. They came in at 346. Is that right? Yeah. So 373 was the actual on Netflix. So they crushed earnings expectations from earnings per share. The expectation for revenue is 8.53. So just for clarity, 8.53, they came in at $8.54 billion. So they beat on revenue as well. And as we all know, that doesn't always matter. Beating earnings doesn't mean the stock automatically goes up. So I'd imagine that we have something on that guidance for the current quarter that we're in, and even maybe in the next year, if they give us any kind of guidance on that, that's going to bode well for Netflix. Streaming paid net change 8.76 million versus 6.20 million. That's actually pretty damn good. That's probably why it's moving up in general. Now it's up 7%. Yeah, the Beyond Meat. Yeah. Lord Fender says that. What about Beyond Meat? I shorted Beyond Meat after their IPO, and I made a fuck ton of money. That was my greatest. I don't even short stocks that much, but that one was like a no-brainer. And man, rode that thing all the way to the bottom. I appreciate you calling out that one, my man. But yeah, huge boner candle on Netflix right now. Checking back in. Let's see where Tesla's at. If there's any movement on that. Oops. If I can type today, that would be great. Tesla is down now 2.5% after hours. Looks like those numbers are probably out as well. We'll revisit Netflix. It's still early yet. We will see where Tesla's at. Tesla came in. They came in at 66 cents. Remember, I said 73 was the estimate. That was according to Seeking Alpha. Some are saying 74. Either way, they missed earnings per share. Revenue came in at 23.4 billion versus a 24.06 that was estimated. So they also missed on revenue as well. Big reason why the stock's down more than likely. You got to wonder if maybe the growth here is oh my God. Somebody just said that in the report it says Cybertruck by the end of the year. Listen, I believe it when I see it. Until I see a Cybertruck on the road, I'm going to call bullshit every time. Anybody else with me on that? By the way, I just want to reiterate. Oh, we got 92 in here. Nice. Hit that like button if you're watching, and if you're visiting for the first time, hit that subscribe as well. I certainly would appreciate it. I react to earnings all the time. If you're interested in reacting to earnings here on the YouTubes, then this is your spot. But man, before these earnings came out, I said, hey, if I was to choose between Tesla or Netflix, I would go Netflix. And damned if that isn't happening. Here, I thought I was going to have a bunch of rust. I'm back, baby. Feels good to get a dub. Look at that. Now up over 8%. Netflix is crushing it. Hey, L Down Rudy, thanks, man. What's up, Matt Johnson? Anton Sigursky. Yeah, if you're lurking in there, you haven't said what's up to me yet. How about you do that? Would love to say hey. All these familiar faces. My people. My people. All right. Looking in for some more numbers from Tesla. So if you guys are just tuning in and trying to get numbers from Tesla, they actually missed on earnings per share, coming in at 66 cents. They also missed revenue. So tough stuff there for Netflix or for Tesla. I wanted to see what their guidance is. Trying to see if I can find that just for see where we're at there. What was the expected guidance? Do we have expected guidance? I believe. No, I don't have it yet. That's all right. Maybe there is some rust after all. Normally I would have those numbers. My apologies, guys. But either way, yeah, the gross margin, 17.9%. So that's actually come down even further. Remember this? Look, it's been a while, guys, but remember, we talked about this probably beginning of the year when Tesla was shrinking their margins. And now 17.9%. Let me double check this. What's is it GM or Ford that has somewhere around there, I think. Ford, there. Oh goodness, where do I find that? I will tell you in a second. Profitability. Here we go. Profitability. Their profit margins, Ford's gross profit margin is at 10.34%. So that one's the lower one. I think GM's is somewhere around 17, 16, something like that. 12.7. So no, not even close. But nevertheless, Tesla's gross profit margin continues to come down. And look, you can make the argument that Tesla's profit margin's coming down because they're lowering the cost of their vehicles. They want to get more units out there. So that gives them the competitive edge, and their profit margin is still higher than the legacy companies. And I wouldn't argue that, but you got to wonder if those profit margins are coming down a little bit too soon, because now you're on the same playing field as a legacy company that has similar profit margins. They're making the same amount of money and they're selling more units. Now, there's a 5% gap between Tesla and GM right now, as far as gross profit margin is concerned. So then you start asking yourself, you look at the valuation of GM and then the valuation of Tesla, and then you're like, GM is valued at 4 times next year's earnings. And I just got done telling you that Tesla is at 75 times next year's earnings. The only thing is that Tesla's growth is at 40% year over year. That, in my opinion, is its saving grace. Also, it's on the cutting edge of an incredible market. It has most of the market share as far as EVs are concerned. This is by no means me telling you that Tesla is going through the floor. And we'll come back. Well, I'll show you the chart again. There's Netflix still going off. Now that's now up 10%. Good God Almighty! Anybody trade Netflix before this happened? Before the earnings came out? Tesla's trying to fight its way back here. But, for them, getting back to the profit margin side of things, for them, it's like, man, you got to wonder at what point is it going to level out to where now they are just competing with legacy companies. Maybe that time doesn't come. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying Tesla isn't investable. I actually am bullish on Tesla longer term, but every quarter we seem to see them cut their profit margins, and it's I don't know. We'll see. Somebody likes something in that report, because it is clawing its way back here. Checking out, let me just give her a refresh, see if there's anything else newsworthy in that Tesla report. So as I reported earlier, they came in missed earnings, 66 cents per share versus the 73 that was expected, 23.35 billion versus the 24.1 that was expected on revenue. Let's see here. One key area. Q3 adjusted, let's see here. Free cash flow is 848 million, which was significantly lower than the estimated. Oh, wow. 2.59 billion. That's quite a difference. 848 million in free cash flow. 259 billion was what was expected. The gross margin, as we already talked about, 17.9% below what the expectations were there as well. Interesting. Starting to go green here. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Anybody know if Elon's going to be on the call today? Let me know in the comments. Netflix is still booming here. All right. There are some other stocks that we're reporting today too. Las Vegas Sands was one of them. That is going bananas. That's up 4.75%. Let's check out LVS. Net revenue of $2.8 billion and net income of $449 million. Earnings per share of 50 cents. The expectation for Vegas Sands was 55. So they missed on that. They missed earnings per share, but it looks like revenue came in higher. Let me confirm that. 2.71 and then 2.8 actual. So beat revenue. Macau adjusted property EBITDA of 631 million. I believe that is also a beat. So it looks like the Chinese markets are coming back as far as gambling is concerned. Las Vegas doing pretty good. Las Vegas Sands doing pretty good over there in China. They cite travel and tourism recovery, Macau and Singapore. Adjusted EBITDA 1.12 billion. Board authorized a $2 billion stock repurchase. That's also why the stock's moving through November 25th. So over the next month, LVS is going to be buying back stock, $2 billion worth. That stock is now up 4.25%. Pretty decent afternoon for them. Alcoa also reported. Looks like they might have beat as well, in case anybody cares about Alcoa. Anybody care? Okay. Nothing on Alcoa yet. Doesn't look like there's much there. Discovery. DFS is that ticker symbol. That looks like it's down after hours, but usually that doesn't have a whole lot of movement. We'll come back and revisit that one. But honestly, are you really here for Discovery? No. But I figured in case somebody was interested, I'd take a look at it. 9.25%. Netflix is still hanging out up there on a subscriber beat, looks like. I hope Netflix takes an elevator down now. Come on, man. Jumps. I feel like Go Viral went. Did you go short on Netflix? I tried to give you some insight on that, man. I tried. Appreciate you, Jeff Chow. Appreciate you. Smack that like button. Hell yeah. Where are we at? How many likes we got right now? 27. That is weak sauce. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get those numbers up. 27 likes. Hit that thumbs up, guys. I certainly would appreciate it. Let's check back in with Tesla. See how that's doing. Yeah, that's actually back to green. It was down as much as around 3%. Now moving its way back to the upside. Trying to see here. Some people, I mean, I would say pro Tesla people are saying that these earnings aren't so bad. 40% year-over-year growth. 3.31% quarter over quarter. Was it just a bad quarter? Because I mean, I'm not seeing anything yet. And if somebody else finds something, put it in the chat. I'm not seeing anything right now that like is telling me that Tesla is a buy. Maybe it's a bunch of Tesla frat boys that are just buying it up. I don't know. Really can't tell you why. Um, stock's moving up right now because nothing's shouting out, jumping out at me on the report right now that's telling me, yeah, this is a great buy. Hey, Ninu, thank you, appreciate it. Glad to have you in here too. What's Netflix expected to go up to? Great question. Here's what my expectation is. So as you guys can see, Don has his zones drawn out here, and they're super useful, ridiculously accurate. If you guys are interested in that, we're going to have more information on how you can be a part of what we're doing and get access to these zones and all that good stuff. But right now it's trading at 379. You can see the top of this zone, which would act as a resistance right here, is at 386. Yeah, 386.37 and some change. So that's kind of where I would expect the first stop to be. That's the first area of resistance that I would look at Netflix and say, maybe I'll consider taking some profit there or putting a stop in. I would watch that area right there at around 386 to see if it does indeed move over that resistance. Because if not, then we'll start to probably see it retreat back to that 370 area. But yeah, that's kind of where I would expect Netflix to go. That's the first stop. Can I put up the 4 hour on Tesla? Yeah, let's take a look at that. Tesla, here's your 4 hour. And look at that. Came right down to the bottom of that trend line on this wedge pattern that's kind of created. How about that? These magic lines actually work. I would make that same argument, Jeff. Jeff says it kind of looks like this move up is increasing the wedge. I would say yes. I would agree with that. I mean, look, you came right down at the bottom of it, of this trend line that Don had drawn out. And I would say, yeah, it's very possible we could see this go up to 249. That's the next resistance for this. And now it looks as if support somewhere around 243, 244. And so, yeah, I would say, I would agree. I would say yes. I would say absolutely. This is where I would put my stop in. If I was hopping in a Tesla right now, where it's trading at 244.50, probably put my stop in at that top of that zone around 243. That's how I would, manage my risk there on that. Lord Fenner says probably because Ford is cutting Lightning production and Cybertruck is about to drop. Maybe. Josh Schuler has a huge amount of Tesla puts. Oh, wow. Nope. They sure aren't. Hey, Savvy Money Show. Good to see you. Elon's buying back shares now. Yeah. Stephen Hoyer. Thanks, man. I'm glad you're back too. Everything's good. Everything's great. Appreciate it. Lord Fenrir wishes he could grab some Netflix puts right now. We will see, man. We will see. How's the rest of the market reacting here? So let's check out the NASDAQ. Here's your NASDAQ. Let's go to the 5 minute. Any real change there? Doesn't look like it. It's only up around what's that, 0.17%. So not a whole lot of movement there in the Qs. SPY looking like it's doing the same thing. Not really much movement there. But Netflix, my goodness. Pretty strong move from them. So big winners here. The big winners. Netflix is now continuing to move up. Again, it looks like it's approaching this resistance. So Lord Fenrir looks as if perhaps if you could get puts, probably would try to see if it makes sense to get some around 386. If it doesn't break through this resistance, we could see that kind of retreat a little bit. So watch that spot for sure. For any of you guys thinking about taking a trade on Netflix now, might be a little risky here, but that's where I would watch it. That's where I would watch it. The other winner today was Las Vegas Sands. That's up now 4.5%. Still killing it. This is up based off of the growth that they're seeing in Macau. Huge. I mean, you think Vegas is big. Macau is, I've never been there, but I just know that it's much larger. And so Vegas has huge amount of business over there. And they're basically saying, China's back, baby. So LVS is back. Netflix is back. Snookeroo says, "Go Panthers." Yeah, Snookeroo. Hey, we talked about the Panthers a little bit on my other show. I just started with Ryan Ripken about 90 days ago, about 3 months ago, a little over 3 months ago. I guess I should tell you guys that I'm also on another channel, and I'll share that with you if you guys are interested. And going to check out some of my other endeavors. I also talk sports. You guys know that I've been really big in the sports for a long time. That shouldn't come to a surprise to you, but I'm now doing a show with Ryan Ripken, and it's actually in the same studio that you guys all know and love. That Fat Man Zoom and I used to be in. So go check that out. We just crossed over 1,000 subscribers. If you guys don't know who Ryan Ripken is, the last name should ring a bell. His dad was, kind of sort of a big deal in baseball once upon a time. He's an all right guy, I guess. Ryan's a great guy, though. And it's been awesome to, create content with him. And like I said, we just popped over 1,000 subscribers in 90 days, which is great. Not back in Baltimore for good, but go back and forth. Netflix guidance already given or still waiting? Netflix guidance, it looks like it was given. Let me double check for you. Let me double check here. So let's see here. Apparently this is their best subscriber growth in years. It's it's crazy because of all the strikes, right? And we had talked about that could impact them. But they also announced new price hikes, which always good for the investors, not so good for the subscribers, but hey, it is what it is. They attributed better than expected subscriber growth to the rollout of paid sharing, strong, steady programming, and the ongoing expansion of Stream globally. So it's not so much the U.S. expansion, but global expansion. We now expect fiscal year guidance. We now expect fiscal year 2023 cash flow of $6.5 billion, up from our prior forecast of $5 billion. That's a jump, an extra $1.5 billion from expectations. Holy shitballs. We repurchased $2.5 billion of shares in Q3 and increased our buyback authorization by $10 billion. So another reason why that stock is up. Sorry, Lord Fenrir. I don't know if I would go short on this now. I don't know if I mean, look here. So I'll show the, here's the chart again, coming up on that resistance though. So we'll keep an eye on that. Stephen Horace says Ryan's dad's the real Iron Man. Yeah. I almost forgot that people call him that. I didn't forget. I just, it's just that kind of stuff's never on the top of my mind. But man, what's not mediocre? Making money. You're damn right. Netflix could keep climbing. It could. Jorge, we I don't know when you popped in here, but we were just watching, and I was telling the folks, because somebody was asking about this as well. But see the top of this zone, this yellow box here, that's the resistance for Netflix. So in order for it to keep going, I really think it's got to break up above that. So Don, my partner in crime, has drawn out these supports and resistances in the form of zones. So these yellow boxes here is really what you want to pay attention to. So this 386 mark, 386.34, I think is going to be an area that you really need to watch for as far as resistance, because if it doesn't break above that, we could see this get rejected, and there's a possibility we see that come back and retreat to that 370 mark. Still very much in the green compared to how it closed today, but I think that's where if we see a breather from Netflix, then it's gonna have to we need to see a rejection here and then a retest of around 370. So those are the two spots I'd be keeping my eye on. Hey, speaking of the devil, there he is. What's up, Don? How did Tesla do? It did what Tesla does. Sold off, started to get bought back, and now it's just not really doing much. It's flat on a pretty shitty. I thought it was a shitty report. Tesla missed everywhere. Gross profit margin down lower than expected, which a lot of people are keeping their eye on these days. So not great. I didn't think that they had a great quarter. I thought they would. This doesn't change my position on Tesla long term, but I thought for sure they would do well. And they did not. Close to doing an iron condor, but just sold puts on Tesla. Don, I told people at the start of the show, if I had my pick, like if I was making a trade on either Netflix or Tesla, I would have gone Netflix, and Netflix is gone bananas. So your boy's back. We'll see how the rest of the week goes. We'll see how next week goes, right? We're just getting in the start of earnings season, but hey, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right, guys, you're fantastic. I really appreciate you coming back. The warm well wishes back are awesome. The support's always awesome. I love coming back here and hanging with you guys. I really do. And it's going to be more of a thing. Don and I are working together with some really great people who are going to help us build our business and allow us to keep doing this thing for as long as we want to. So I'm super pumped about it. Stay tuned. I don't want to give away all the details just yet because we're still really just forming the details. So, but nevertheless, we're coming. So it's going to be great. Just do this 100 times in a row. We'll send you our livers, says Jeff Chow. Jorge, hey, no problem. No problem, my man. Don't you apologize, brother. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button on your way out the door. And I'll be back tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. We'll react to some other earnings that are coming out tomorrow as well. Super pumped to be back. This feels good. I'm glad to see you guys haven't left. Glad to see you guys are still showing the love and the support, and going to keep doing this thing. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.